Welcome, everyone. This is the Monday edition, February the 7th already, 2022. This is the NBA Triple-Double Show, presented by the Predictive Playbook and presented to you by SportsMemo TV. And as always, I have my favorite pal and co-host, Ronald Cabang, in the house. Welcome to the show, Ronald. For the shows, the last 26, believe it or not, and we're going to mention this from time to time. Don't want you to focus on the record and only come to our show for the record. We want to provide information too. But we are at 67% over 27 shows, and that's pretty darn good. So let's see if we can continue those winning ways, and we'll get started right away with this matchup. I'm calling this play the contrarian play of the day, Ronald. And it's the Phoenix Suns versus the Chicago Bulls. Phoenix is 9-1 straight up over the last 10, 6-4 against the number. They're 4-6 over that span. And the Chicago Bulls are 5-5 straight up, 5-4-1 against the number, 7-3 over under, and have posted 6 consecutive overs. So we have some trends and to take off of Ralph Michaels and Kelly Stewart of the Bet On It show. We have some TNA here, trends and angles. So Suns are 4-0 against the spread their last 4 road games, facing a team with a home win percentage of greater than 50%. The under is 12-2-2 in Suns' last 16 road games, facing a team with a home winning percentage greater than 60%. The Suns are just 1-6 against the spread the last 7 Monday games. Suns are 6-1 against the number of their last 7 road games. The over is 6-0. The Bulls' last 6, as I mentioned, when they're starting 5 players combined for more than 160 minutes in the previous day. So as you can see, there is a ton of cross currents in this matchup, and I know that we'll be able to figure this out together, Ronald. The line for this game, Chicago is an 8-point home dog. They have massive injuries to deal with. Phoenix looks pretty healthy, and they're playing extraordinarily well, 42-10. They're 20-5 on the road. The total here is 227.5. Where do you see any betting opportunities in this matchup, Ronald?
Yeah, I was looking at this game last night. I think it opened up at -6, and I like that number here. I like that number there, but obviously it steamed up to 8 or 8.5 now. Bulls are coming off a double-digit loss to Philly yesterday. They're actually 5-5 to the over following a loss. They're also 9-2 to the over on the second half of back-to-back games. And they've gone over in 8 of their last 9 games overall. I think they're going to be mainly an over team until Caruso and Ball come back. They're the 2 key guys that really, lead their defense. Especially earlier in the season, you could see like a huge impact and a difference in how they play with both of those guys on the court versus when they're both injured. Suns are playing without their guard depth. The Payne and Landry Shamet are both out, but They're getting fairly healthy, like you mentioned. Crowder and Ayton are back, and they're not even a game time decision like they have been like for the last couple of weeks. But they're typically an under team, but but they are 7-4 to the over when facing opponents on the second half of back-to-back games. And if you include that the total is 224 or higher, they're actually 3-0 to the over. They don't typically see these high totals during the season. Just because of their defense and their pace of play, but the Bulls do, and the Bulls are 11-1 to the over when the total closes higher than 222. To me, right now, most of the signs are pointing to the over. What are you thinking in this one?
I'm with you on it. I kind of lean with the Bulls, and I know it doesn't make any sense, but as you mentioned in the beginning of your breakdown, it's steaming. The world is really betting Phoenix aggressively, in my opinion, and more than 73% of the bets right now are on the Phoenix Suns, and probably rightfully so. But whenever it gets above 70% consensus, and this applies in the financial markets too, when you get 70% or more Bulls, you want to start thinking about going the other direction. And it's the same in the sports betting markets as well. So I lean cautiously right now on the Bulls, but I really do like your over. And I think if the Bulls cover, it's going to go over the total probably by a lot. So I'm aligned with you on this.
Okay.
So let's move on to the next game here, which is it's the Warriors. New York let's see here.
Warriors
I'll
Thunder.
edit this out. I'll edit this out.
So we're at Warriors Thunder.
Yeah. So at 5 minutes. Yeah, we're all right. So we just did.
We just did Bulls and Suns.
Yeah, that's okay. That's the contrarian play of the day. You're right. All right. So now we're gonna do Knicks Jazz, right? No,
Warriors,
that's the last one.
Yeah, Warriors Thunder, and then Knicks Jazz.
Yeah, Knicks Jazz. All right. Man, this is ridiculous. So it's Warriors Thunder, right?
Yeah.
And why do I not have the slide for this? Oh my god! Don't worry about the recording; it's easy to edit.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
All right, let me just get a. I just had to take a quick screenshot. Actually, I won't have to take a screenshot. I'll just do this. All right. Sorry about that. I must have accidentally deleted the slide in my note thing here.
Oh, that's all good.
Okay, so we're at the 7-minute mark exactly. So we'll delete that out. All right, so 3. Let's move on to our next game, and that's going to be the Golden State Warriors on the road against the now 3-0 their last 3 Oklahoma City Thunder. We mentioned that game on Friday, and they successfully did win outright against Portland as a slight underdog, and that was quite the play. Mm-hmm. That was we were on that one pretty good. In this matchup, we have similar to the Phoenix Suns game. You have basically the two best teams in the league between Golden State and Phoenix. Nobody's really even close, in my opinion, but the public is all over the Warriors again here. There's 68% of the bets are on the Warriors. Only 32% are on the Thunder at this point. The Thunder are at home as a double-digit 12.5-point underdog. They are 9-16 straight up at home, but they're 15-8-2 are the Thunder in home games. So this is, on paper, a monumental mismatch. But do you think Oklahoma City can give them a game and cover this number?
Yeah, they are one of the stronger against the spread teams this season. I think if you look at a whole bunch of different angles, you'll find a way to find the Thunder are actually, hitting a positive percentage against the spread in any of those angles. If you bet the Thunder all season long, you'd be hitting over 66%, I think it is. But I think it's really tough to bet against a Warriors team that is playing so well right now. They won 8 in a row, and it seems like they kind of put things together finally without Draymond being that glue to that team. I think one way to look at this right now is the first quarter. This would help avoid like any possible backdoor cover from the Thunder. It's kind of like a get in, get out type of game. The Warriors are 7-5 against the spread this season as double-digit favorites, but their average first quarter margin in those games is 4.1 points, and the Thunder are 10-4 against the spread as double-digit dogs, and their average first quarter margin is minus 5.2. So if you can get that first quarter, with a little bit of value there, I think that might be the way to go. That would cause a lot of that'll help stay away from the backdoor fourth quarter, because really the Thunder really are really great in the second half coming back when they're down. So I don't know. This one's a tough one, but to me, first quarter might be a good look.
Yeah, and I actually have a supporting system here I can read off to you that supports that idea. And we're looking at road favorites on the first half betting line playing with 3 days of rest, has a winning record on the season, playing a team with a losing record. That's all there is to it. Believe it or not, that's gone 27-5 against the number for 83% winners the last 5 seasons. So that's pretty strong. And I'm leaning really hard now, first half Golden State. And, what's interesting is when I first looked at this game, I was kind of leaning a little bit, towards the Thunder because, they're playing loose and free and they have 3-game winning streak, which matches their season high from back in December 14th to the 18th, I believe it was. So they're probably feeling pretty good despite the season being a complete disaster. But, you don't bet against the Phoenix Suns. You just don't. I'd rather lose money betting with the Phoenix Suns than against them. I mean, it's just that old saying about catching the falling knife. Mm-hmm. You just don't do it.
Yeah. You mean the Warriors, the Warriors, right? You're talking about the Warriors?
Oh, yes. Did I say the Suns?
You're saying the Suns, yeah.
It's Monday. It's Monday, Ronald.
Yeah, well, it's all good.
I always appreciate being corrected when I'm dead wrong. It never bothers me. Got to get this stuff right. So with that said, let's move on to our third and final game. And this one is in the New York Knicks are taking on the Utah Jazz. This game's set to start at the Vivint Arena, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The Knicks, I still find them as a dysfunctional team. They're 24-29 in the season, 25-28 against the number. They're 6-18 as a dog. The Utah Jazz, they're 3-7 straight up, despite winning their last 2 games. They're 2-7-1 against the number the last 10. 3-7 is the over-under. I have, in my mind, Ronald, 2 teams here I just cannot trust no matter what the line is. Utah is 7.5-point home favorite in this matchup with a total of 219. Do you see any edges worthwhile taking to the window?
No, this is a tough game. The Knicks aren't playing well at all right now. They're 2-8, like you mentioned, 2-8 straight up their last 10 games, including that OT loss to the Lakers when they were up by 15.5. And Jazz, they are on a 2-game winning streak. Having Mitchell back is a big boost for them offensively, but they're still without Gobert, and Clarkson and Rudy Gay are game time decisions tonight. So they still have some roster issues there, the injury issues. This one it really is a tough game. I can see things from both sides here. Knicks are 7-12 against the spread against teams with a winning record, but they do make adjustments after allowing 120 points in their previous game, and they're 5-2 against the spread in those situations. Then on the Jazz side, they struggle a bit at home as favorites. They're 10-16 against the spread in those situations, and they also seem to play down to their opponent's level at times. They're 8-15 against the spread against teams with a losing record. But then when they're well rested, they come into games with a bit more energy. They're 6-2 against the spread and 6-2 to the over. And when they have 2 days of rest or more than their opponent, really, this one is. I'm seeing trends and angles on both sides here, over under on the Jazz side and on the Knicks side. This one's a really tough one for me.
Yeah, I'll make it. I'll cloud the picture even more, Ronald, if you don't mind. But against opponents with a winning record, the Knicks on the road are actually 6-3 against the spread. However, Utah, when they're playing a below average team, it was a team with a losing record, they're just 5-7 against the number this season against those types of foes, which shows that they do play down to their opponent. In fact, they're 10-13 straight up against teams with a record below 500.
Yeah,
and that is shocking. Mm-hmm. So I don't know which to do here at all, and maybe it's just a game that we pass. But we'll move on to our best bets for the show, where we try to isolate one game that's on this rather short card today for Monday, and something that we'll take to the window. Yeah. So I'll let you start out.
Yeah, I think out of the 3 games that we mentioned today, the one that I like the most is probably the Suns and Bulls over. I think most of the trends and angles that I was able to look into last night kind of pointed that in that direction. So for me, that would probably be the best bet of the day.
All right, and I agree with you on that. And I'll add a second one, that first half Golden State Warriors against the Thunder. I think that has a lot of merit. and I'm not sure where that line is. But even if it was at 7 points, I think Golden State has a reason to come out smoking hot and just eliminate any thought that the Thunder have of winning 4 straight and upsetting them as a double-digit favorite. So I do agree with you. I think Golden State will come out very fast and just get that notion out of their heads that, hey, we're the Warriors and you're not going to beat us. So that'll be our 2 best bets for the show. And, of course, I always thank you for your time, Ronald, and I thank everybody for watching these videos. We're growing very fast, and we appreciate the spreading the word, which is obviously what people are doing because each week we have more and more people joining, and we'll keep trying to do the best possible breakdowns we can so it makes you guys and us better bettors. So we'll be back on Wednesday with Ronald for another edition of the NBA Triple Double Show. I'll be doing a solo 1-game show tomorrow on Tuesday. So until we see you again, always remember, bet with your head and not over it, and may all the wins be yours.